Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the August work session of the Board of Commissioners. Laura, you want to call a roll?
I know how it feels.
Ms. Hall?
Here.
Mr. Siegel?
Here.
Holmes is not here. Mr. McGarrett?
Here.
Mr. Connells?
Here.
Mr. Wexler?
Here.
Hammond is not here, and Commissioner Oliva.
Here. All right, and we'll start off with the presentation from the EAC. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pledge
we're gonna do the
allegiance.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
Let's start with the EAC. Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes is calling.
Hi, I'm Nora Schmidt. I work for the Parks Department, actually. And so we're working with the EAC, but we just want, I know you guys know, but we did get a bunch of different grants. And so Peter Hickman and I had applied for a REN grant, a Water Resources Education Network grant. And we got a $4,100 grant to put a garden up at the Haverford Reserve next in a location that's high flooding. And so part of the grant is to do 2 workshops, and so we wanted to, A, tell you about these workshops we're doing, and B, tell you why we're doing them. So the workshops are going to be the weekend of September 20th and 21st, and so we want to let you guys know so you can tell your constituents. We'll probably send something out to you so you can forward that along, hopefully in your email chains. And it's going to be a workshop where you hopefully 30 to 40 people will come. You'll see a presentation on what a rain garden is, why it's good for the community, and how you can put one in your own yard. And then you'll help us build this, this large rain garden. And as part of the workshop, you'll actually get some plants to put in your own garden. And so Peter can tell you why we're doing this exact location.
We've chosen the site, it's right along Parkview Drive. If you think of where the circle is, as you drive from where the reserve is down towards the CREC, it's on the left-hand side. There's a large drain there, and the rain garden itself solves 2 problems. One, the drain was, the soil around the drain is lower than where the drain is. We put the rain garden in, we'll bring it up to the proper level. So that any of the runoff from the rain garden will go right into the drain. We're also going to correct the swale so that the water that comes off of the field, the soccer field there, will run into the swale, and that's all going to be part of the rain garden. And it's going to collect any of the irrigation runoff that comes from the fields if we're irrigating them. Also collect any of the stormwater that comes off the field and then put that into the drain. The location is highly visible along Parkview Drive. It's going to attract a lot of attention. It's going to be a really beautiful area. We're also, part of the grant is we're going to be able to put signs up with that. It's going to reduce the mowing for the area. Also correct an area in that along there that was staying wet all the time because it didn't drain into the drain itself. And the best part about it is that this is kind of the first step, or leads right into the grant, the William Penn grant that Haverford and 4 other communities are part of. And this wasn't something we had necessarily planned, but it really does, it just fits right in with it. So that our workshops are going to lead to the William Penn grant, and Dave's going to talk about that.
Excuse me. Thank you all once again for indulging me here. I was here a couple weeks ago. For those of you who remember, I'm sure you all, it was about, I think, 10 o'clock by the time I got up here, so if you forgot, no big deal. But I'm here to just talk about some of these grants as well. Nora and Peter explained the REN grant pretty well. We also got a grant. We're actually on a team led by PRC, Pennsylvania Resource Council. Also includes Eastern Delaware County Stormwater Collaborative, for the NIFWF grant. It's National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. It's funded through William Penn. A couple other foundations are in there as well. That's $41,000. That's not all ours, actually. That's going to be spread among a few municipalities. What we get from that, though, we're called or sort of appointed as the local leader for that, the regional leader for that grant. And basically what they want to do is set up a program whereby they can take and then transport to other municipalities in the Eastern Delaware County Stormwater Collaborative to sort of use that as a spark to build rain gardens throughout the whole region. So we're going to lead the effort. And one of the benefits of that is that we get to figure out a location for a public rain garden, a demonstration rain garden. This is different from the one at the CREC. We actually, one of the things that we're doing over this winter, hopefully, is figuring out a place to put it, a good public location to put this rain garden. And we have evaluation criteria that we're working on right now. We also have sort of a preliminary list here, and if I could just pass this around, I'd appreciate it. Those are some areas that just from the top of our heads, we sort of brainstormed and figured out, what might be good candidates, where might be good candidates to place rain gardens. Is there flooding in the area? I remember actually when I spoke a few weeks ago, I spoke during a torrential downpour, and a few folks got up and actually talked about flooding. So if there's any places like that, and especially after those kind of storms, we're looking for your input, from the commissioners to figure out if there were any locations, whether on this sheet or elsewhere, that would be good candidates for rain gardens. We're essentially going to choose one and then build it there. And we're going to look to, we're going to put all of them on a list. We're not going to take any of them out and throw them out. We're going to put them all onto a list, and we're going to try to turn this in, try to make this part of our 100 Rain Gardens in 10-year program. And actually, just one last quick thing here before I move on from the NIFWF grant. Another part of that grant is that we're also going to get funding for 10 residential rain gardens. And for that, what we're doing is we have a website set up. Nora did a very good job putting it together, a survey up on the EAC website where people can go on the survey if they're interested in either volunteering for a rain garden, installing a rain garden, maintaining a rain garden, whatever. There's a survey to fill out. And anybody who is willing to host a rain garden will then be considered. We'll go out there and give them a free screening, see how if their location is a good one for a rain garden. And then we're going to prioritize those. And the overall goal here is to come up with a couple of lists. One for public rain gardens, one for residential rain gardens. Then we're going to try to train people so they can build them themselves, or offer possibly some funding in the future to help fund additional rain gardens. And the overall goal, obviously, is to take water out of our current system, reduce the amount that we spend on repairing culverts and washing areas out, and slope stabilization and so forth. It's basically a sort of a long-term solution to stormwater. So basically, I wanted to see if you may have any questions about that. We also are aware that a budget time is coming up. And while we have some grants for this year to fund some of these rain gardens, we just want to put it out there that this is something that we want to really become a regional leader at, sort of in green stormwater infrastructure, GSI. It's something that we really want to push for. We have put together sort of a couple of ideas for budget numbers that this would require. A lot of the numbers, we have sort of a all-out number here, sort of like a, whiz-bang, all bells and whistles. We also have some smaller ideas for budgets if you want to sort of give this a test run. Provide some funding for rain gardens, residential areas, maybe build one or two a year on public locations. This year, we're getting a lot of support from volunteers, EAC obviously. We're also going to try to look for sponsorship, for opportunities for sponsorship. If you're a business, wants to build a rain garden and then put up a small, tasteful sign, not a billboard, but a small sign saying brought to you by so-and-so contractors or so-and-so garden shop or whatever, that'll be another way that we'll look for funding. But we have to there are some basic numbers here for different options for rain garden construction. I'll pass this around if you want to look at it. The number at the bottom is like I mentioned, the all-out solution. The other ones are probably the ones that we might want to try early on for a test run. But I wanted to know if you guys had any questions about this or any concerns about the program.
I think it's great.
Really.
No, I'm pushing Chatham Park. Chatham Glen Park.
Chatham Glen?
Pushing that.
I've heard a lot about Chatham Glen.
Yeah.
We've heard a lot about that area. That is one. That's definitely one of the spots for a private rain or for a public rain garden location, rather.
Okay.
It's top of the list, man. It's right on top.
Right.
Top of the list.
Okay. Well, and also one thing I want to ask you all is I know many of you have email alerts, newsletters, and so forth. We put together a little release, and we'd like to include that, or we'd like to ask you to include that in your next email blast or next newsletter. Now, I know Commissioner Siegel and Commissioner Leva, you guys both have, well, Commissioner Siegel, you have an email that you send out, so I can send it to you electronically. Do you have an email?
Yeah,
Commissioner?
I think
Everybody does?
Everybody.
Okay, if it's possible, then I
Been around for
Send
20
it to us
years.
or send it, to
send it
Lori
to Lori.
and she'll disseminate to us.
Great. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Our training for the REN training that we're doing through that grant, September 20th and 21st.
Yeah, we do.
So I don't know if do your newsletters go up before that, do you think? Will they be out there?
Poor Jimmy.
Before-
He's still a Stone Age.
Yeah, we can send them out through email,
Okay.
but our newsletters are going out when?
First week last week of August, the first week in September.
Right, so it could be on there.
Okay,
So if you
great.
send that, and we'll put it in the newsletter also.
Good, yeah, we're trying to get the first one built before Haverford Township Day, and then at that day, we can put it out our big display and show people what they look like and everything, so that's the idea. And right now, we already have about a dozen, about 2 people who we just know, have signed up to our, we've seen them at various events or various heritage festivals and whatnot, and they've already signed up as people who are interested in this kind of a garden. And actually, I don't know if you guys are reading the Delco Times, but first one has been built actually in my backyard. I don't know if you saw that or not. I was sitting there with my little rain garden in my area. So we actually had 99 to go.
I'm
So-
sorry, what area do you live in?
I'm sorry.
You live in
I
Lanark.
in your area.
Yes, you live in
actually.
Lanark.
Yes, Lanark area, yes, thank you. So yes, one's been built, so if you want to go, and actually we have a Facebook page set up as well with pictures of it on there.
What page is that?
A Facebook
Facebook.
page. So anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up, and also if you have any thoughts on these locations, obviously Chatham is getting some attention here. If anybody else has any ideas though, please let us know, and we'd like to evaluate a few of these before before winter sets in. Then next spring, break ground on them.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
For your time. Thanks, Nora. Peter, appreciate you coming out. All right, Chief, Police Department update?
Commissioner, thank you. I have the crime report for the month of July. We did have an armed robbery at the Sunoco station, East Township Line Road. The actor wearing a black mask, black gloves, black hoodie entered the gas station wielding a full-size machete and robbed the employee of his cash receipts. No arrest has been made. We had a robbery at the 7-Eleven store, West Eagle Road. 2 actors were responsible for robbing the store. One actor went into the store, stole cash and coins off the counter. He then ran outside to an awaiting getaway car where they sped away. Police receiving information of robbery and a description stopped the car in the 2000 block of Belvedere Avenue. Once stopped, the passenger in the car opened the door and he fled on foot. The driver, however, decided it would be easier to run the policeman over with his car than be arrested. And that is exactly what he attempted to do. Fortunately, the exposed police officer was not injured, and the actor fled the scene at a high rate of speed. Our police canine Barr, was called to the scene. He tracked the robber that ran from the car and found him hiding, buried in thick brush at 421 Rittenhouse. Arrested for robbery was a 23-year-old Collingdale man, and it was through this arrest that we learned the identity of the getaway driver. We found him the next day. He's a 30-year-old man from Abington, and he was charged with robbery, ag assault, and related charges. Currently, they are both in Delaware County Prison awaiting their hearings. Burglaries. We experienced 16 burglaries the month of July. 5 burglaries by force, 3 burglaries no force, and 8 were attempted burglaries. Most of these burglaries were in the 6th Ward and a few in the 3rd Ward. 12 of these burglaries took place in a 6-day period. And a fact that was disturbing to us was that at least 2 of these burglaries, both in the 2500 block of Bryn Mawr Avenue, the actor armed himself with a kitchen knife after he gained entry into the house. Now, detectives, through their investigation, identified the suspect who pawned the stolen jewelry at a pawn shop in Upper Darby. The stolen jewelry was found and stolen from a burglary on the Bryn Mawr Avenue. Now, later that same day, this same suspect that we identified was arrested for burglary, home invasion, and kidnapping in Upper Merion incident. This actor entered a home in Upper Merion to burglarize it, and once inside, he armed himself with the owner's shotgun. He discovered a man and woman were home. He held them up at gunpoint. He robbed them. He tied up the female. He then kidnapped the male resident, where he forced him to drive to several ATMs to get more money. Fortunately, the female broke loose and called the police. Upper Merion spotted the car, and after a chase, they captured the person. We filed criminal charges on this same 24-year-old man from Philadelphia who has an extensive criminal history. He just got released from prison and he's on parole. We charged him with 3 of our burglaries, 2 in the 2500 block of Bryn Mawr and 1 in the 600 block of Wynwood. However, we believe that he is responsible, he alone is responsible for other burglaries that took place and did occur in July. Now, this was the same burglar that was taking kitchen knives when he went into our Haverford homes. If you ever wondered what could happen if you confronted a burglar in your home, just take a lesson from the traumatized Upper Merion couple. We were very fortunate that no one was home at the times he committed the burglaries in Haverford Township, where that Upper Merion situation could have played out here. He currently is in Montgomery County Prison, and he will not be getting out anytime soon. There was a burglary at 305 Ardmore. We cleared that by arrest. We arrested a 46-year-old female from Philadelphia. We had 20 thefts from autos this month, 19 of which were unlocked cars. We did arrest a 16-year-old male from Upper Darby for 3 of these thefts. Police wrote 333 traffic tickets. We gave out 191 warnings, written warnings, and we wrote 240 parking tickets.
Nice work.
Thanks, Chief John.
All right.
If I could comment, the chief and detective and Lieutenant Moore and Deputy Chief John Viola were very helpful and very responsive to the concerns of the 6th Ward residents. We held a meeting 2 Wednesdays ago. It was very well attended, and the feedback from it has all been excellent. Wanted to publicly thank the chief and his people for responding as quickly as they have, and of course for their efforts to apprehend the criminal. And appreciate the update. And again, on behalf of all the residents of the 6th Ward and the 3rd who also attended that meeting, I just want to personally thank everybody in the police department who worked so hard in response to those burglaries. People were pretty rattled, and your work was professional and top rate, and why Haverford Township has a better solve rate and a better lower crime rate than a lot of folks around us. So thank you, Mr. President.
I'd like to second that. Thank you very much, Chief.
I would
You
like to
did a
second that
great job, really great job, outstanding.
I would like to third that. They did a great job.
I have I'm upstairs.
Commissioner,
What I was going to say was, I know, I'm going to speak about the K-9 unit again. I know because it's newly created, but I think it's showing how it's paying off here in the township. And the fact that this actor ran out of the car and God knows was where and hid, if not for the K-9 unit, we probably don't find this suspect.
yeah, either one.
Either one.
Yeah. Because
So
of one
it's,
less to the other.
that's working out fantastic. The police committee does meet regularly with the chief, so we do get updates, and we're just so proud of the department. And the fact that they solve these crimes in the 6th Ward and the 3rd Ward as fast as they do is just, it's a testament to the professionalism.
Commissioner Siegel?
Chief, it wasn't in the report, but we've discussed, there was a disturbing incident of vandalism in the 4th Ward. How are those incidents reported? Because they're not they're not property crimes or person crimes per se, but they are township property crimes.
Speaking about the reported vandalism
At the Foster track,
at the park,
yes.
a mother took her children there and found disturbing signs, language, and designs intimidating heritages of different nationalities.
Different face, yeah.
So we're working on that, Dan, to find that gap.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Commissioners Committee update. Anybody? Done?
Just the EAC. Thank you for your presentation. It was excellent. And this is a really great program, and we're thrilled that you've been able to secure these grants. I know that that takes time and effort, and on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we appreciate that you've taken that initiative.
It's great.
All right. Would you like to discuss the curbs? What's next?
No other committees? Everybody good?
No, nobody else.
Before we do that, actually, I just wanted to mention from the Finance Committee, one of the things we'll be doing next week is adopting a budget schedule for 2015. It has, of course, become part of, it's that time of the year again, and obviously this will be in next week's meeting, but the first special budget meeting of the board is going to be November 17th, Monday evening at 7 p.m., the 2015 preliminary budget, November 17th, Monday, November 17th. Then at our regular December meeting, Monday, December the 8th, would be our second and final presentation, at which I hope we adopt the 2015 budget. Before that, before October 31st, 2014, our board will receive a copy of the manager's budget. Prior to that time, the manager will be meeting with different departments and getting their budgets and working on it. So just thought folks should know that that is underway.
Okay. All right. Is that it for committees? All right. Jane, did you want to start off the discussion on curbs?
Yes, I would like to revisit, as much as everyone doesn't want to revisit, but I'd like to revisit the curbing and kind of backtrack a little bit from where we were, and I would like to call upon Lori to kind of explain where we've come in the last few years on this and where we are today. And what we were looking at was making a couple of very simple changes. We did have some discussion with resident realtors speaking to us about changing this at the point of sale. And I have to say, I am a realtor, and I do deal with this on a daily basis. And as much as I would like to say that we should change it at the point of sale, I just don't believe we can. I really do believe that that is the time when people do have the ability to fix the curbing. It is their responsibility to ask them to do it during a road paving program. As much as we tried to look at that carefully and maybe consider it, I just feel like it's not something that can be done during a road paving program. It would catch people off guard. They'd be asked to put out a large amount of money that they may not have, and it just probably wouldn't work as well. Whereas at point of sale, it is an item that is required, just like a home inspection, a roof inspection, a furnace certification, whatever it may be. It's part of your property and you're responsible for it. It is a negotiable item in the agreement of sale in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So it's not something that I speak to my clients and tell them immediately this is something that's required. All the townships, many of the townships around here require many different things, including curbing. So we're not alone, but I would like to ask Lori to say where we are now. And I think one of the biggest problems that we had, and my biggest problem, was that when it was being replaced, we were getting a differentiation in heights on the curbing. And what we'd like to add, kind of one last piece to pull this all together in the ordinance, is that if there is a section of curbing within a particular line in front of a property, and it's just broken and the other two pieces are not, and say you have 4 inches on either side, but that center piece is being replaced, and it's being replaced with 6-inch curbing, and it doesn't flow, and it looks terrible, and it doesn't make the street look as flow down the street or cohesive the way it should. So what I'd like to ask the board to do is approve that broken piece can be replaced with the same height as the adjacent pieces, so that we have our neighborhoods flow and look, and the curbing looks the way it should look. So that's kind of the last piece, and Commissioner Holmes?
Just for clarification, will that be a requirement to try to meet those areas, or they have the option of just matching the curb that's on both sides.
Well, I think it should match on both sides. I think it should be a requirement, because why would you put 6 inches if you have 4 on either side? Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's to make it look cohesive as it flows.
No, that makes sense. The only
Right.
question is for those folks that are, it could